Hi everybody, and welcome back to my little YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, my name's Amanda. I'm a diagnosed autistic adult. I was diagnosed a few years ago and I decided to make these videos to help other people with autism because it can be really difficult for us, especially as adults, to get autism support later on in life. For some reason it seems to just cut off after childhood. We hit 25 and then suddenly there's just no autism support, so that's why I'm making these videos. I often feel incredibly isolated and incredibly lonely, and by making these videos it's my way of reaching out to other autistic people and hopefully building an autism community. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about autism, some common autism facts, things that affect us with autism, signs and symptoms. If you're interested in hearing more, please consider hitting like, commenting and subscribing, and please, if you can, don't forget to share this video on your social media on Facebook, so hopefully it can be seen by more people and it can help more people out, because there might be people out there that feel incredibly isolated and just need somebody to feel like they're not on their own.
The light is fading fast from this old town, we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me.
So first of all, let's start by talking about what autism is. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition. It's a genetic condition. That means that we're born with it. We have it our entire existence, and it affects every single aspect of our lives. And it can affect things like we can get incredible anxiety in social situations. A lot of autistic people have anxiety and depression as like co-occurring medical conditions alongside their autism diagnosis. I think if you ask most autistic people, they'll tell you that anxiety is one of the biggest ones that affects them in terms of their debilitating symptoms. If I could get rid of one of my symptoms, it would be anxiety. Even though that's not autism, it really does affect every aspect of my life. And although it is really because we get sensory overload, we are overwhelmed often by bright lights, loud noises, being around groups and crowds of people, textures of foods, and it really does encompass our entire existence. And it's genetic. That means that you can't cure it. There's no vaccine for it. We have it forever and ever and ever, and a lot of us, as a result of that, like I'm doing now, are incredibly good at doing something called autistic masking.
There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me. Escape this time with me.
So if you're autistic, or you think you might be autistic, I'm going to go into some of the signs and symptoms of autism here. So if you think you can relate to any of these signs and symptoms, it might be that you have autism, but don't forget that other medical conditions like anxiety and split personality disorders, antisocial personality disorders can also look like autism spectrum conditions. It's really important that if you can relate to any of the signs and symptoms that I'm talking about, that you seek advice and support from your healthcare provider. So don't take this video as the be-all and end-all. It's not a medical advice. So one of the first signs or symptoms of autism is this difficulty in relating to other people, difficulty in understanding and relating to our fellow human beings. And that's because autistic people, we struggle with communication barriers, understanding what other people are saying to us, and then how we respond to other people. And often we have a delay in communication. So somebody might ask me something and I might wait a while or just look into space and then answer them. And so there's this breakdown in communication. Sometimes we can misunderstand what somebody said to us, and likewise other people can misunderstand what we've given as a response to them. So it can feel incredibly overwhelming to autistic people just communicating with other fellow human beings.
The light is fading fast from this old town, we gotta go. Our bags are packed.
And then adding on to that, understanding the the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions and the intentions of other people, and knowing how to react when somebody's sad. I know sometimes when somebody starts crying, it can make me feel really uncomfortable because I don't know how to react to that. And although I've learned to pretend and mask working in healthcare for many years, and I've learned to put an act on and how to make somebody feel better, I can still feel incredibly uncomfortable. That was actually one of the questions that was asked of me when I went for my autism assessment. How do you react when somebody's upset or crying? And I actually said that I put an act on. I just pretend to comfort somebody, but the reality of it is those feelings don't come naturally to me. I actually feel a little bit devoid of feeling in that situation. And so having to navigate a social environment and knowing how to respond to others when they're upset or when they're happy can be really, really difficult for me. Leave a comment below. Can it also be challenging for you too? Autistic people, we can become really anxious in social situations, and I often do myself, and people often will say, well, why are you making these videos and there's other people around you? And that's because I'm concentrating on this camera rather than other people, which really helps me, and it's actually really helped my mental health by doing that. But anxiety really encompasses our entire existence, because when you can imagine just leaving the house and we've got bright lights and loud noises and people bumping into us and talking to us and making small talk and having to navigate an environment that is just unpredictable. Unpredictability is a word that autistic people absolutely hate. I hate that word. This change in routine and structure, it's just incredibly anxiety provoking. And so if I could get rid of one thing with my autism, it would be anxiety. You might be able to relate, but along with everything I've just said, the social communication side of it and the anxiety, we can struggle then to fit in social settings and being around groups and crowds of people in employment settings and even family and friends and social events when we're invited to parties. It's something, parties is a word that I don't do. It's something that I don't engage in because it's just met with people wanting to bump into you, make small talk and hug you and kiss you and expect you to be this person you're not, and it's hard enough acting as it is without having to then act even more in social situations. So if you find it hard making eye contact and making small talk and being around groups of people, it could be autism. It might not be, don't take my word for it. It needs a proper clinical diagnosis to make sure that you are autistic. But anxiety and a difficulty understanding others and a difficulty socialising is one of the main symptoms of autism. And so if you find yourself acting constantly in order to fit into social situations, otherwise known as masking or autistic camouflaging, it's this, with me anyway, it's this purposeful or subconscious suppression of who I am in order to fit in, trying to pretend to be non-autistic when I am indeed autistic. And it's almost, it's fake it till you make it. You're pretending to be somebody you're not, and that the goal of that is to get successful employment opportunities, to acquire relationships, to come across as being okay when maybe we're struggling. And if you find yourself doing that to other people or in group situations, it could be a sign of autism.
It's fading fast. From this old town we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me.
A lot of autistic people, we can take things that other people say to us extremely seriously or literally. And that can include things like flirting, or if somebody tells a joke to us, or if somebody's sarcastic with us. And this can affect children, because children at school, it used to affect me when I was younger, and people would be being sarcastic to me, and I didn't know that they was being sarcastic to me when they was actually bullying me and they was laughing at me. And that can still happen to this day. And that can lead me to cut people out of my life because I can misinterpret what people have said to me, and I can think they're being sarcastic with me or they're making fun of me, and so I'll just cut people out of my life. And we can then come across as being really antisocial or aggressive or horrible, negative people when that's not the case. It's just that we've gone through such hardships in the past that we're just trying to protect our mental health, our own inner peace, and that can be at the detriment to our well-being, other people's well-being as well, because we can misinterpret others. So if you find yourself misinterpreting other people or struggling to understand and identify when somebody's joking with you or being sarcastic, it could be a sign of autism. A lot of us as autistic people, we prefer routine and ritual, and we don't like unpredictability. That word scares the hell out of me. And so if you're one of those people that likes routine and ritual, it might not be autism, but it surely is up there with one of the main signs of autism. We like to have things pre-planned out, sometimes days, weeks, months in advance. And a lot of autistic people, like when I was younger, I used to collect pens. I used to love pens, all sorts of different types of pens, fountain pens, felt tip pens, and I used to line up all my pens in all the different colours. And you find that now with autistic people, especially autistic children, with sweets and Smarties and things like that, and they line up all the different colours and they colour coordinate everything. And so if you have found yourself doing that from a young age, it could be autism. A lot of autistic people, we can really struggle to identify our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and then when other people ask us how we're thinking and feeling, it can be really difficult for us to firstly identify with those feelings and then to explain to others how we do indeed feel. And so a lot of the time you'll find autistic people giving you answers like I'm okay or I don't know, and that's just because we can't identify with those feelings and we're struggling with them so much. It's hard for us to, a lot of the time autistic people, we have something called alexithymia, and that is this disconnect from our thoughts, feelings and emotions and how we feel, and pain sensitivity and all of that sort of stuff. So if we're struggling with that, then trying to explain that to other people can be really challenging. Autistic people can also struggle with eye contact, and this comes under anxiety. It does for me anyway. I often feel like when somebody's looking me in the eyes, they're looking into my soul. It's just a bit too much. Although I'll do it, it's fake. So again, coming back to fake it till you make it. So if you're struggling with eye contact, it could be a sign of autism. One of the more positive signs of autism is the ability to notice the minute details or the small details that other people might miss. And that's a real good thing. I always say that autistic people would be really good at being detectives, because we'd notice things that other people miss. So again, it might not be autism, but if you're one of those people that's noticing tiny details and you're able to think outside the box, it could be a sign of autism. A common characteristic of autism is having intense special interests, and that could be one special interest, or it could be two, or a mixture. And we might not just have the same one all our lives. It can flip from special interest to special interest, and sometimes we can get really hyperfixated and hyper-focused on our special interest, and it can almost take over our lives and turn into like an obsessive compulsive condition. So if you're one of those people and you have intense focus and intense special interests, and you focus a lot of your time and energy on special interests, it could be autism.
The light is fading fast from this old town, we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me.
A lot of autistic people will actively avoid certain situations or certain environments, like shopping environments or crowds of people or social gatherings, parties for example, because we have this overwhelming sense of anxiety. And so if you feel like it could just be a generalised anxiety disorder or a social anxiety disorder, but it might be worthwhile seeking advice from your GP and filling in an autism quotient questionnaire that you can do free online to assess whether indeed it could be autism. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little video. If you have, please consider hitting like, commenting and subscribing, and I shall see you next time for my next vlog. Bye.
The light is fading fast. From this old town we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me. Escape this time.